Hello everyone, today I will show you a tool that will help you to kickstart your Django web app. I use this on a lot of my Django projects and it's helping me save a lot of time by setting a lot of things automatically for me that I will have to set manually. It's very easy to use. First you will need to install cookiecutter. It's a Python library, and then you're just going to call it like this, cookiecutter and the URL. Let's do this for a new project. You won't get that notification. I got it because I already used this in the past. Project name can be anything. I will leave it by default so I don't spend too much time. Make sure that project Slack doesn't contain any spaces. Description can be anything again. Name, your name, domain. If you are going to use one, I recommend that you add it here, or later you'll have to edit it and it's going to take more time. If you don't know your domain yet, you can just leave it by default as example, and then when you deploy, just search on the code base for example.com and replace it with your own domain. Your email, so when you set up emailing in Django, if there is an error, you will get an email notification. Version. Here it depends if the project is open source or not. I haven't built any open source Django projects yet, so I just choose 5 here. Time zone. If you are using Windows, you should type yes here, but I don't use Windows, so I will leave it with no. I don't use PyCharm either. I want to use Docker, and I recommend that you use it too because it will help you deploy your web app a lot faster. For the PostgreSQL version, I usually leave it on the default. I don't use any of this. Here I use Amazon Web Services for emailing, so I'll select one. And here I will select 2. If I didn't select one above and I was going to select it 2 here, I will get an error. This is why I had to select Amazon Web Services on the previous step. I don't use async. Usually I'm not very comfortable with it. DRF means Django REST framework. I usually use this for most of my projects. If you want to a custom bootstrap compilation, I don't need it. No compressor. I use Celery for a lot of things, so I select yes, no, Sentry no, white noise yes, Roku no. I don't use any of the above for CI, so I'm just going to ignore it. Here it asks me if I want to keep my local environment files in Git, and yes, I want to do that, so I have an example. Okay, so until the build is ready, let's talk about the project structure. Here we have the environment file for local and production. For production, this won't be added to your Git repo, so you'll have to copy it manually. You may also change things, so this file is only available on production. You may also have to add other settings. I'm not going to use this project, so it's not a problem if I show you, but for example, make sure you keep your secret key secret, as the name says it. Also, for production, you'll have a custom admin URL, so your website is more secure. And if you change your domain, don't forget to change it here too. Now on Compose we have different settings and different files. I'm not going to talk about that too much because they are explained in the documentation. I will leave a link to the documentation in the video description. You also have config folder. Here you have the settings. The settings for this Django project are split in multiple files. Base is the one that are used in both local and production servers. Local are just for development, and production settings are for your production environment. There is also a test file for testing settings. Let's check out the base one. Here you can add your own apps. You even have an example app with users. This way your app list is very clean. Here are your basic Django settings. Also Celery if you selected that. Here you have the REST framework, API router, your basic URL file, and so on. Now let's check the main folder. Here you have your most of your Django app, and here is the custom app I was talking about. You have your template folder. Also, this includes a lot of things by default, as you already saw. If you use Django REST framework or Celery, this is going to save you a lot of time. Also, they include API authentication and a few other API examples, which is a very good starter for your project. You also have the requirements split in 3, as were the settings, and here is the Docker Compose file. You have Django, Postgres, documentation. You can delete this if you don't want it. Redis, Celery Worker, Celery Bit, and Flower. Flower is a Celery web interface. And that's about it for today. I hope this will help you kickstart your next Django project, so you can focus on more important things than setting up your environments and so on. If you get stuck on something, they have very good documentation here. Also, you can search on GitHub. Maybe someone else had the same issue and they created it. If you have any questions, please let me know and I will answer them as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos like this. Have a great day. Bye.